Hold on to something! Fire Will! Do it! Do it!
Check. How do you feel? Feels good.
What is up, interwebs? Big Lou here, along with Matt the Cutman. As always, we have just come from seeing Star Trek Beyond. We have gone beyond and come back. This was a really, really fun time at the movies. We're going to do this the way that we did our last review. We're going to talk some non-spoiler stuff at first, and then we're going to get into some spoilery stuff towards the end of this review. So, give you a chance if you want to know what we think without having seen the movie yet, give you that chance, and we'll give you a warning when we get into some spoilers. So, no further ado.
Speaking of spoilers, I can't believe they killed Kirk.
I know.
Did not see that coming in the first act.
This was right in the trailer.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, you don't. That did not. Well,
did it? We go see and find out.
Yes. Anyway, without giving any more spoilers, potential, maybe, who knows, wink, wink. What do you think of Star Trek Beyond, man?
I don't see how that's any of your business.
Well, what the fuck are we doing here, sir?
Do you see the smile on my face?
I'm guessing you had a good time.
I loved it from beginning to end.
Clearly,
just every square inch of
yeah.
It was the Star Trek we had all been hoping for.
Okay.
Since that initial teaser trailer where you saw the Enterprise being constructed of the original
the first of the J.J. Abrams reboots,
the Kelvin universe, the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah.
I believe that's what they're calling it. Yeah, it lived up to its Trekkie promise.
I agree. I liked this movie a lot. This was a lot of fun. This was, I mean, hell, I'm sporting my free little insignia pin there. That
your Delta insignia.
I am, yes. So there was a lot that really, really stood out for me with this movie. First and foremost, the chemistry of the cast just keeps getting better and better and better. We had some really, really good moments between Bones and Spock.
Yes.
We had some really good moments between Bones and Kirk. Mm-hmm. The scene where they're having the drink, talking about his birthday and stuff. It's a nice little tip of the hat.
No, you do believe that the two of them, when they come off their shift, they go and they hang out in the captain's quarters or the officer club, and they throw back a whiskey.
Yeah. Or a Romulan ale, or whatever the case may be.
Lou, Romulan ale is illegal.
Hey, there are many things in this world that are illegal, and yet still a lot of fun.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to pour blue Gatorade into a rocks glass and pretend that I was drinking Romulan ale.
I used to do something similar, but with blue milk from Star Wars.
Didn't have many friends.
Yes. Not for a long, long time.
But all of you are my friends, though, right?
Thank you, Internet. So, what else stood out to you about this movie? What are your some of your significant moments?
Sabotage.
I knew you were going to say that.
First of all, that's my favorite Beastie Boys song.
Okay, I'll give you that.
And I know I was tapping my feet, and of course they panned up to Chekhov at the controls.
Yeah,
He's tapping his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It definitely, without giving too many spoilers away, it definitely gave more insight as to why they used that song in that first trailer that everybody hated.
Yes.
And it was very much okay, I get it. Yeah. So when you see the movie, you'll know what we're talking about, but the Sabotage song definitely kind of plays into the storyline and stuff. So, and Kirk's little nod. That's a good choice. That's a good choice. Yeah, because that's what was playing.
That's what was playing on the radio.
Yeah, when he was stealing the car in the first one. Yeah.
Yes. So, and a little bit of trivia there. The person in I keep saying the original in the 2009 Star Trek.
Yeah.
When he steals the car, and the stepdad calls him on the phone. That was Greg Gumberg's voice.
That was Greg Gumberg.
Yes.
Nice. That was good to see him in this movie, too.
And then he plays space traffic controller.
Sure, yeah. The little commander of the little base there or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a cool base.
Yeah. Somebody's been seen Inception one too many times, I think.
Yeah.
Which brings me to one of my biggest positives was the production design of this movie.
Yes.
I liked the change from the costumes from the two J.J. Abrams movies. You could definitely tell that time has progressed. And I don't know if they did this intentionally or if just that Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto are getting older, but you could definitely tell that there was a more maturity to them as far as the way that Kirk had his hair and just his demeanor and a little bit more wrinkly under his eyes and stuff like that. And it very well could just be that Chris Pine's not 25 anymore like he was in the first movie, but
Yorktown. I'm sorry.
Yorktown.
That was the name of the station.
Of the base, the station.
That was actually what the Enterprise was going to be named when Roddenberry was creating the show. Was the Yorktown, but they changed it to the Enterprise.
Fascinating. But and then keeping on production design, when we get down to the planet. How cool was that planet? I mean, it was. There was one or two moments where you were like, okay, this is a total throwback to the original series, that it's like you could totally tell they're on a soundstage, but what a cool soundstage.
Yeah.
It just looked really, really cool.
You expected a green monster to come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
Kirk to fight him with his shirt off. See, you got your shirt off. Sorry. I'm in a good mood from having seen it.
Hey, ride that wave while you can there, buddy. So, what else you got on your list there, Matt? What stood out as a positive?
Jayla.
She's on my list as well. Sophia Botella.
Yes.
Do you know what else we know her from?
Kingsman. Yeah.
She crushed it in this movie. The fight scene, not too many spoilers here, but she has this fight scene.
That's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Her next movie that she's got coming out, she's playing The Mummy in The Mummy Universal Studios.
The Tom Cruise vehicle.
I'm so looking forward to that. After seeing her in this and then in Kingsman, bring on more Sophia Botella.
Absolutely, yeah. She was amazing. And I loved her character. She was ballsy and strong, but also vulnerable.
Incredibly.
And that came through
in spades.
In spades, absolutely in spades.
How did I know you were going to say that?
I don't know. We've been doing this show too long.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, well, no movie is perfect. And without getting, again, too many spoilers, was there anything about this movie that stood out that didn't work for you?
It always upsets me when they destroy the Enterprise.
Naturally.
It upset me in Star Trek 3.
Yes.
And it upset me again now.
Yes.
Seeing the nacelles torn off, I was just... It hurt.
It did.
It really hurt.
It gets you right in the feels seeing that.
And then when Kroll was like, cut her throat.
Yeah.
And they ripped the Enterprise in half.
And this is not really spoilers. It's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
Them completely destroying the Enterprise. But yeah, no, I definitely... It did. It got you.
Because the Enterprise is a character.
Oh, for sure.
They killed a main character in the first act. That's some Game of Thrones Sopranos shit.
Trek, yeah. It's Star Trek, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, you're not going to like this because I do know you. The Jayla's name, do you know what it's an homage to? Yeah, you're not going to like this. It's an homage to Jennifer Lawrence's character in Winter's Bone.
In what?
A movie called Winter's Bone. I haven't seen it either, but apparently she plays a very a Jayla-like character. She's ballsy yet vulnerable.
Oh, wait. No, I do. I haven't seen it, but I am familiar with the movie. It was one that she made years ago, and they put on the shelf, and then when she got real famous, they released it.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, Simon Pegg.
And to be fair, I don't have a problem with Jennifer Lawrence.
I know.
I have a problem with her thumbing her nose at the character of Mystique. That's what I have a fucking problem with.
Easy.
Sorry.
Lou your heart.
I'm sorry. It is. It does. It gets going.
But anyway, so when Simon Pegg and his co-writer were writing the movie, they were like, "Oh yeah, the Jayla needs to be," or they couldn't come up with a name with her, and they're like, "The character needs to be like Jennifer Lawrence's character from Winter's Bone." Oh yeah, like Jennifer Lawrence's character from Winter's Bone. They're like, "Oh, we can't keep saying this. Let's call her Jayla." Oh, let's call the character Jayla. That's good.
Yeah.
So that's where that name comes from.
Very cool. I like that. Some things that I had problems with this movie. It was so predictable. After the first 15 minutes, I could have written out the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I did. I put it together.
Yeah.
I put together what was happening.
The big reveal at the end is not so much of a big reveal. If you've seen any movies in your life whatsoever, familiar with the storytelling process, you're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
But it was still a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it was really good to watch.
Yeah. So that's definitely go see this movie. Take advantage of the fact that it's in 3D IMAX. It's a lot of fun. You're really, really going to enjoy it. That being said, as Spock said in Into Darkness, that being said, going to go ahead and get into some spoilers. Sure. So you have been warned. Thumbnail this. Come back, watch the rest of this after you've seen the movie. Yeah, so predictable. I mean, him being the captain of the
Franklin.
The Franklin, duh. I mean, you're walking. It's the USS Franklin. I'll bet the bad guy is. I bet Idris Elba's character is the captain of the Franklin.
Right. When they started playing the footage.
Oh, it was even before that I got it. As soon as the ship was as they said it was a derelict Federation ship, sure. I was like, duh.
Yeah.
Just because, you've seen. I've seen Insurrection. I've which was what this movie was.
Yeah.
The storyline of this movie was a big budget 2-hour episode of Star Trek: The Original Series.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah. No, I'm all in.
But it didn't have the same scale that the other two, what did you call them, Kelvinverse?
Yeah, the Kelvin timeline.
The Kelvin timeline movies had.
And I'm okay with that because I wanted something where the whole planet's not in jeopardy. I wanted something that, harkens back to the original series.
Sure.
And even Next Gen or some Deep Space Nine there. And I like that they took the class of starship that the NX-01 Enterprise was from the show Enterprise, that they modeled that ship because that part of the timeline is still the same.
Yeah.
And so the ships would have looked like that.
Sure.
The Warp 5 ships. So
speaking of that class of Enterprise, how cool was the time-lapse construction of the Enterprise at the end?
Yes.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I knew that they were going to have a Star Trek Voyage Home moment.
Yeah, of course.
Like that. I do like that they were sitting there looking up at it.
One of the things that I really liked about this movie that was one of my biggest negatives about the other two J.J. Abrams movies was, and I guess because not very much of the movie actually took place on the Enterprise, the set pieces in this movie fit where they were. It's like, in the first, and what I mean by that is, in the first two, it seemed like there was more interior of the Enterprise than there was exterior to show it. Mm-hmm. It's like when they beam into the engineering room, when he and Scotty beam back onto the Enterprise, they're in this huge cavernous thing.
You mean in the Into Darkness and the
yeah.
You know what that actually is? That's not a set.
No, I understand that, but it's supposed to be the interior of the Enterprise.
Yes, but in real life, do you know what that is?
Some water treatment facility or something?
Okay, I think we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about the engine room of the Enterprise in Into Darkness is actually a gigantic laser at the National Ignition Facility near Oak Ridge.
Oh, no. You're talking about where he goes into the radiation room and is in the actual warp core and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I was talking about when they were running through and there's like the ladders going down.
Oh, yeah, that's a Budweiser facility.
Yeah. Water treatment facility. They treat water very, very nicely.
I'll say. Keep sending more Budweiser.
So it didn't seem like that space would fit in the Enterprise and still have it be room for all the other stuff of the ship.
Yeah, no, I had that issue as well.
The scale of this that they had in this movie, especially when they were on Yorktown, it felt like it fit where it was supposed to be. And that goes back to the production design. I felt that was very, very well crafted.
Yeah, and I thought Justin Lin did a really good job, the director did a really good job of giving you a sense of where the characters were on the ship when they were actually on the ship. Because when, like in the original series and Next Gen, when they're walking down a corridor, you don't have any idea. Are they on the saucer? Are they somewhere down in the bows? You have no clue where they are on the actual ship.
Well, that's because they only had the budget to build 3 corridors.
Right.
One going this way, one going this way, and one going straight up.
Well, there was one scene during the attack where the camera went from seeing crewmen running through the Enterprise from the outside through the windows, and then the camera flew inside, and it was a tracking shot where you would see them running and fighting and shooting, and then it flew back outside of the Enterprise.
Really cool how they do that and blend the two. And really, really cool. The cinematography, construction of
absolutely.
shots like that is really cool. So, what else spoilery positive did you have written down?
That was, I mean, the big spoil is that, it's the crew.
Yeah.
And that wasn't really a spoil. Halfway through the movie, you had it put together. So,
getting into some negatives for me, I know you had it down. The sabotage song was one of your positives. Yeah. I thought it was so lame. It just felt like, really, you're gonna destroy this whole great big ship army with the Beastie Boys?
Well, they had to choose a song.
I get it
because they had to use the VHF transmission,
and I get that too. It just seemed like, in true Star Trek fashion, I guess it just seemed a little cheap.
Yeah, this is where the true Star Trek fans are gonna hate the Kelvin timeline, because these series of movies are definitely more action than they are science fiction.
Yeah.
But that's the world we live in. You gotta cater to summer.
You gotta know your audience, and in order to keep making these movies, you have to have the audience that's gonna go back and see it a couple of times in the theater.
This audience would not have the stomach for Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
No. I don't have the stomach for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. You kidding me?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, no, I caught that on TV the other day, and I was
I'm so sorry.
I liked seeing, the awesome model of the Enterprise.
The whole movie is 45 minutes of glory shots at the end. Ba, 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 ba.
And it's awesome. Actually, interesting bit of trivia. If you look at the poster for this movie, you've got Kirk and Spock and Jayla with like the rainbow colors going up, and then you got the Enterprise, which is a dead ringer for the poster for Star Trek: Motion Picture.
I did catch those similarities. Yeah,
because it was in the motion picture. It was Kirk, Spock, and Ilea.
Yeah.
And then you had
oh, that's right. Her name wasn't V'ger, was it? No. V'ger was
the beginning.
Was the bad guy or the villain of the movie. But yeah, so it just seemed to me that the ending battle, both with the ships on the outside and then the final fight scene with Idris Elba, it just seemed kind of meh to me.
It was anticlimactic.
Very, very much so. Which was unfortunate because you've got Idris Elba, who I love Idris Elba, and I thought he crushed this role. I did not particularly like a lot of the stuff that the role was saying. A lot of the dialogue I thought felt a little
hokey.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
But having it be performed by Idris Elba, it worked. Because he's just, I mean, talk about losing yourself in a role. You couldn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
Even towards the end when he starts turning back into, looking more human.
Right. Did it seem like when he was in full villain mode, did it seem like his facial features did change?
When he absorbed the essence in front of Sulu and Uhura, after that, yeah, they definitely changed. His like ridges and stuff seemed a little bit softer. I actually, when I first saw him in some of the trailers and stuff, I was like, are they bringing out the Hirogen? Because have you seen, I don't know how well you remember any of the villains from Voyager.
Yeah. No.
But the Hirogen were one of the villain races from Voyager. And
they haven't gotten to the Delta Quadrant yet.
No, they hadn't, which is why I was like, well, maybe in this, no, it's not. It's similar, but not exact. Anyway, so yeah. Other than that, this was a great movie. It was a lot of. I won't say it's a great movie. It was a lot of fun to sit and watch.
It was a great movie.
And I had some issues with it from a storytelling standpoint, but from I'm just going to sit there and shove popcorn in my face while I spend 2 hours at the movies. It was amazing. A lot of fun.
Make more like that.
Yes.
Which they have greenlit already.
Yes. And the next one, I know you're a much bigger fan of the series than I am. Do you remember, I was watching something the other day, there was an old episode of the original series where Kirk actually meets an alternate version of himself from a different timeline.
Yeah.
It's like Voyage of an Old Captain or something like that. I'm going to get crucified in the comments for not being able to remember this, but there's somebody had said that because Chris Hemsworth was confirmed as not just having a cameo in it, but he's actually, one of the leading roles, that they're going to be redoing that storyline from the original series. And how cool would it be if you see the new Kirk, meaning Chris Pine's character, meeting his father, never having met him, and it's like, oh, George Kirk is going to hate his son. And then at the end of the day, have it be that in order to restore the timeline back to where it's supposed to be, Kirk has to send his son, or his father, back to the moment where the Kelvin is destroyed. He has to send his father back to certain death.
A little bit like Yesterday's Enterprise.
That's the one, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was Next Gen.
Oh, was it Next Gen?
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, there was a whole alternate timeline.
Yeah.
It was Tasha Yar.
That's the one. Yeah. So that's the one that they're thinking that they're going to kind of.
I would love that.
Adapt into the new timeline. Mm-hmm. So speaking of the new timeline, how cool was it when Spock was opening old Spock's stuff and you got to see the picture of Leonard Nimoy and DeForest Kelley and James Doohan and
the
George
Prime
Takei.
crew.
Yeah. The OG crew, as they say.
Yeah, that did it for me. That was quite satisfying.
What was that picture from? Do you know?
It looked like it was probably from Undiscovered Country.
Was it?
Probably some sort of promotional material from the Undiscovered Country. That's about how their ages looked.
Yeah, because Uhura had the pepper hair and stuff like that.
So did Shatner.
Yeah, but yes. Are we prepared to give this? Can we give it a score out of 5? Maybe not a score out of 10.
I loved this movie. I don't know what that translates to mathematically. Yes, I loved that movie.
Excellent.
I thought it was great, and I'll go see it many many times.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I loved this movie as well. I thought it was a lot of fun. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let us know what your thoughts are on Star Trek Beyond. What are your hopes for the future of the franchise? And until next time, folks, we will see you on the interwebs.